Have you ever thought about the meals that once filled American homes but are now rarely seen? These foods, deeply embedded in our cultural memory, were more than just dishes. They were symbols of family gatherings, economic shifts, and evolving culinary tastes. Today we explore 20 middle-class foods that have largely disappeared from our dinner tables, delving into their history, significance, and the reasons behind their decline. Hamburger Helper was introduced by General Mills in 1971 during a time of economic uncertainty and rising meat prices. This boxed meal kit was designed to help families stretch a pound of ground beef, making it an affordable way to feed a large group with minimal effort. The concept was simple, yet effective: a box containing pasta and a seasoning packet that, when combined with browned meat, created a filling dish. Varieties like cheeseburger, macaroni, and tuna helper expanded its appeal. However, as people became more health-conscious, there was a shift towards fresh, whole foods over processed items. The rise of meal prepping and the popularity of home cooking shows encouraged families to make meals from scratch, using fewer processed ingredients. This change in consumer behavior, coupled with concerns about preservatives and artificial flavors, led to a decline in Hamburger Helper's popularity. Today, while it still has a presence on grocery store shelves, its role is more nostalgic, serving as a reminder of simpler times when convenience was key. Egg foo young, a dish with origins in Chinese American cuisine, was a creative fusion that brought together the flavors of an omelet and stir-fried vegetables. Traditionally, it included ingredients such as eggs, bean sprouts, mushrooms, and various vegetables, all bound together and fried to create a fluffy, savory patty. The dish was then topped with a gravy made from soy sauce and broth. This meal was popular in the mid-20th century because it was versatile and could be adapted to include whatever ingredients were on hand. As Americans began to explore more diverse and authentic Asian cuisines, dishes like egg foo young began to lose their appeal. Health trends also contributed to its decline, as many people started to avoid fried foods in favor of lighter, steamed or grilled options. The gravies often used in egg foo young were also seen as heavy and calorie-dense, further pushing the dish out of the mainstream dining scene. Beef stew has been a comfort food across many cultures for centuries. Prized for its ability to transform tougher cuts of meat into tender, flavorful meals. The dish, often made with beef chunks, potatoes, carrots, and onions, simmered in broth, was a staple in mid-20th century America. It was particularly popular in colder climates where a hot, filling meal was always welcome. The decline of beef stew can be traced to the rise of faster cooking methods and the modern desire for quicker meal preparation. Slow-cooked dishes like beef stew required time and patience, two things many busy families found in short supply. Additionally, as global cuisines became more accessible, American families began experimenting with new recipes that offered a wider range of flavors and textures, leaving traditional dishes like beef stew behind. Fish sticks, a quick and easy meal introduced in the 1920s, became an American household favorite in the mid-20th century. Initially, they were made from minced fish, but over time, manufacturers shifted to using whole fish fillets for better texture and taste. Kids loved the crunchy exterior and soft interior, often dipping them in ketchup or tartar sauce. Despite their popularity, fish sticks began to decline as consumers became more aware of nutrition and environmental sustainability. People started to favor fresh fish, prepared in healthier ways like baking or grilling, over processed breaded options. Additionally, concerns about overfishing and the desire for more sustainable seafood choices further diminished the appeal of fish sticks, which were often made from less desirable fish varieties. Cabbage rolls, or stuffed cabbage, were a beloved dish in many American homes, especially among families with Eastern European heritage. The dish typically consisted of ground meat, rice, and spices wrapped in cabbage leaves, then simmered in tomato sauce. It was a cost-effective meal that could feed a large group, making it ideal for family gatherings. However, the preparation of cabbage rolls is labor-intensive, involving blanching the cabbage leaves, preparing the filling, and carefully rolling each leaf. As American life became busier and convenience took precedence, fewer people had the time to prepare such labor-intensive dishes. The rise of one-pot meals and ready-made options further pushed cabbage rolls out of the regular dinner rotation. Today, they are more likely to be found at cultural festivals or prepared for special occasions rather than as an everyday meal. Spaghetti with meat sauce was a beloved dish in post-World War II America, a time when Italian-American cuisine was becoming mainstream. It was easy to prepare, affordable, and could feed a family with minimal effort. The dish became synonymous with comfort food, often appearing in TV dinners and family sitcoms. However, over the past few decades, there has been a shift away from heavy pasta dishes as people became more health conscious. The low-carb craze of the early 2000s, along with the rise of gluten-free diets, led many to cut back on pasta. Additionally, as more Americans traveled abroad and experienced authentic Italian cuisine, they began to favor lighter, more refined dishes over their traditional Americanized spaghetti with meat sauce. This cultural shift, coupled with an increased focus on diverse flavors and healthier eating, contributed to the decline of this once ubiquitous dish. Potato soup, a simple dish made from potatoes, onions, and broth, was once a staple in many American homes. It was cheap to make, filling, and provided a sense of warmth and comfort during the colder months. The creamy texture of the soup, often enhanced with milk or cream and sometimes bacon, made it a favorite among children and adults alike. However, as dietary preferences shifted towards lighter, more varied soups, the heavy nature of potato soup became less appealing. People began to favor broths and soups with a wider variety of vegetables and grains, moving away from the starchy, creamy soups of the past. The decline of potato soup also coincided with a broader movement towards fresh ingredients and homemade stocks, as opposed to canned soups and heavy, cream-based recipes. Ham and scalloped potatoes were a popular dish in mid-20th century America, often served at holiday dinners and special occasions. The dish combined layers of thinly sliced potatoes with ham, all baked in a creamy, cheesy sauce. It was a rich, indulgent meal that provided comfort and warmth. However, as awareness of healthy eating grew, so did the scrutiny of calorie-heavy dishes like ham and scalloped potatoes. The high fat and sodium content of the dish made it a target for health-conscious consumers who began seeking out lighter alternatives. The labor-intensive preparation process also contributed to its decline, as modern families looked for quicker, easier recipes that could be prepared in less time. As a result, ham and scalloped potatoes gradually disappeared from regular meal planning, reserved now mostly for nostalgic family gatherings. Beef stroganoff, a dish with Russian origins, made its way into American kitchens in the 1950s and quickly became popular. Made with tender strips of beef, mushrooms, onions, and a rich sour cream sauce, it was considered both exotic and comforting. The dish's decline began as Americans started to shift towards lighter, more health-conscious meals in the 1970s and 1980s. The heavy sauce, often laden with butter and sour cream, fell out of favor as people focused more on reducing their fat intake. Additionally, the rise of vegetarian and vegan diets further contributed to its decline, as many began seeking plant-based alternatives. Today, while beef stroganoff occasionally makes a comeback in more health-conscious versions using yogurt or light cream, it is not as prevalent as it once was. Chicken and dumplings is a dish with deep roots in Southern cuisine, often associated with comfort and home cooking. The dish typically consists of stewed chicken paired with soft, doughy dumplings, all simmered in a rich broth. It was particularly popular during the Great Depression and World War II, when families needed to make do with inexpensive ingredients. The decline of chicken and dumplings can be attributed to several factors, including the rise of convenience foods and a shift towards more diverse cuisines. As Americans became more adventurous in their eating habits, dishes that required long preparation times and simmering on the stove for hours became less appealing. The rise of international foods, as well as quicker, more convenient meal options, has led to the decline of this once beloved dish. Campbell's pork and beans were once a pantry staple, offering a quick and affordable meal option for families. The dish, introduced in 1895, featured navy beans, small pieces of pork, and a sweet tomato sauce flavored with molasses and spices. It was easy to prepare and could be served as a side or a main dish, making it versatile and appealing. However, as tastes shifted towards fresher, healthier foods and away from processed canned goods, sales of Campbell's pork and beans declined. The move towards organic and plant-based products further diminished its appeal as consumers sought out options with fewer preservatives and more natural ingredients. Today, while still available, it is often seen as a nostalgic item rather than a regular part of the modern diet. Shepherd's pie, a traditional British dish, was adapted in American kitchens to suit local tastes and ingredients. The dish consists of a meat filling, typically lamb or beef, mixed with vegetables and topped with mashed potatoes. It was a practical way to use up leftovers and provide a hearty, filling meal. However, as American tastes became more diverse and sophisticated, dishes like shepherd's pie began to fall out of favor. The rise of convenience foods and a preference for lighter, more varied meals also contributed to its decline. Today, shepherd's pie is more likely to be prepared for special occasions or found in restaurants that specialize in comfort food rather than as a regular dinner option. Frito pie, a Tex-Mex dish made with Fritos corn chips, chili, cheese, and onions, was a popular choice in the Southwest United States. It emerged in the 1930s as an affordable, easy-to-make meal that could be prepared with minimal ingredients. The dish was often served directly in a sliced-open bag of Fritos, making it convenient and mess-free. However, as culinary tastes became more sophisticated and the focus on healthier eating increased, the popularity of Frito pie began to wane. The high fat and calorie content of the dish, coupled with its association with junk food, led to a decline in its popularity. Today, Frito pie is more often found at fairs and festivals, where it is enjoyed as a nostalgic treat rather than a regular meal. Salisbury steak, a dish made from ground beef patties covered in a savory mushroom and onion gravy, was created in the mid-1800s by Dr. James Salisbury, who believed in the health benefits of lean beef. The dish gained popularity during the Great Depression and World War II as an affordable way to serve meat. It was a staple in American homes and school cafeterias for decades, often served with mashed potatoes and green beans. However, as tastes shifted towards fresher and less processed foods, the popularity of Salisbury steak declined. Today, it is often seen as a nostalgic comfort food, more likely to be found in diners or as a frozen meal rather than a regular dinner choice. Meatloaf, a dish made from ground meat mixed with breadcrumbs, onions, and seasonings, was a go-to meal for many American families, especially during tough economic times. It was a versatile dish that could be made with various types of meat and flavored with different spices and herbs. Meatloaf became particularly popular during the Great Depression as a way to stretch limited resources and make the most of inexpensive ingredients. However, as dining out became more common and convenience foods more widely available, the labor-intensive process of making meatloaf from scratch led to its decline. Additionally, health concerns about red meat and the rise of vegetarian and vegan diets contributed to its decrease in popularity. Today, meatloaf is often prepared as a comfort food or during holidays rather than as a regular weeknight meal. American goulash, a simple dish made with ground beef, elbow macaroni, and a tomato-based sauce, was a favorite in many households due to its affordability and ease of preparation. The dish, which has its roots in Hungarian cuisine, was adapted in America to include ingredients that were readily available and inexpensive. It was a popular meal for feeding large families and was often served at potlucks and community gatherings. However, as American tastes evolved and more diverse culinary options became available, the popularity of this simple one-pot meal began to decline. Today, goulash is more likely to be prepared as a nostalgic dish or found in regions where it has a strong cultural presence. Stuffed bell peppers, filled with a mixture of ground meat, rice, and tomato sauce, were a popular dish in mid-20th century America. They offered a creative way to incorporate vegetables into meals while also providing a filling and nutritious option. The dish was easy to prepare and could be made in advance, making it ideal for busy families. However, the labor-intensive preparation and the shift towards more convenient and diverse meal options led to their decline. As American cooking styles evolved to favor quicker, less labor-intensive dishes, stuffed bell peppers became less common on dinner tables. Chili mac, a dish that combines chili con carne with macaroni, was a staple in many American homes from the 1950s to the 1980s. Known for its simplicity and affordability, chili mac provided a hearty meal that could feed a large family or serve as a potluck favorite. The dish was often made with canned chili and boxed macaroni, making it a quick and easy meal for busy households. However, as culinary trends shifted towards lighter, healthier, and more diverse options, the popularity of this carb-heavy, calorie-dense dish began to wane. Ready-made meals and a growing interest in global cuisines have further contributed to the decline of chili mac as a regular dinner option. Sloppy Joes, a sandwich made with ground beef and a tangy tomato sauce, were once a staple of school cafeterias and home kitchens. The dish's simplicity and bold flavors made it popular for casual meals and gatherings. However, as tastes shifted towards more refined and varied cuisine, the popularity of Sloppy Joes began to fade. The rise of gourmet sandwiches and a preference for fresh, healthier ingredients also contributed to the decline of this once beloved dish. Today, Sloppy Joes are more often found at nostalgic diners or prepared as a quick, comforting meal at home. Tuna noodle casserole, made with egg noodles, canned tuna, and a creamy sauce, was a budget-friendly meal that became popular after World War II. The dish was easy to prepare and made use of pantry staples, making it a common choice for busy families. It was often topped with crushed potato chips or breadcrumbs for added texture and flavor. However, as American cooking began to embrace fresher ingredients and more sophisticated flavors, the popularity of tuna noodle casserole declined. The dish's association with processed ingredients and its outdated image have pushed it into the background of American culinary history. Today, tuna noodle casserole is often seen as a retro dish, occasionally revived by those looking for a taste of mid-century comfort food. As we reflect on these 20 middle-class foods that have largely disappeared from our dinner tables, it's clear that our tastes and preferences have evolved significantly over time. The foods we choose to eat are influenced by various factors, including economic conditions, cultural trends, and health considerations. While these dishes may no longer be as prevalent in our kitchens, they remain a cherished part of culinary history, remembered fondly by those who grew up enjoying their comforting flavors. The evolution of these dishes reflects broader changes in American culture and eating habits, highlighting the dynamic nature of food and its ability to adapt to new trends and preferences. As we continue to explore new culinary horizons, it's important to remember and appreciate the foods that shaped our past and brought families together around the dinner table. Whether these dishes make a comeback in new, modern forms or remain fond memories, they are an integral part of our food heritage.